that was enough to turn a huge PR disaster into complete chaos and send a major network into turmoil. An ABC anchor thought the microphone had been turned off, but it hadn't. One careless and arrogant remark about Eala quickly exploded into an international controversy within hours. The suspension came almost immediately, but the regret followed even faster. So, the real question is this: was it simply a careless mistake, or did it expose something far more troubling happening behind the scenes? Before we break down the story, let's make one thing absolutely clear. If Eala inspires you to dream bigger, hit that like button and comment, "Proud to be Filipino" right now. Do you believe Alex has what it takes to break into the WTA top 5? Like this video if you believe in her potential, and comment top 5 if you're already claiming that future today. And if you believe Alex is truly the pride of the Philippines, hit like and leave a heart in the comments to show everyone where you stand. Now, let's take a closer look at what really happened. This had nothing to do with a missed volley. It wasn't about a double fault, and it certainly wasn't about a painful defeat. This was about a live microphone and an overconfident attitude. A veteran ABC anchor had just wrapped up a segment discussing Eala's rapid rise. The cameras were still rolling, the studio lights remained on, and producers were already getting ready for the next segment. The anchor smiled, leaned forward, and made a comment that was never supposed to reach the audience. "She's not that good. The hype only exists because she's from the Philippines." That was all it took. Just a few seconds, but those few seconds would have serious consequences. At first, only the studio crew heard the remark. Then someone clipped the audio, another person shared it, and once the recording hit the internet, it spread at incredible speed. Within hours, there was nowhere to hide from it. X, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube reaction channels, and sports podcasts were replaying the same insulting comment over and over. Suddenly, Eala wasn't making headlines because of her powerful backhand. She was trending because someone had tried to reduce her entire career to the country printed on her passport. So, let's pause and look at the facts. Eala is 20 years old. She is a junior Grand Slam champion who has competed against experienced veterans and proven she belongs on the same court. She has proudly carried the Philippine flag onto stages where very few athletes from her country have ever competed. She didn't reach this level because of hype. She earned it through relentless work, demanding training sessions, 4 a.m. mornings, difficult losses that built her character, and victories that gave her confidence. Looking at everything she has accomplished and claiming that the attention exists only because of where she comes from is not genuine analysis. It's simply dismissive, and fans immediately recognize the disrespect. Within just a few hours, hashtags were dominating the algorithm. "Respect Alex, boycott ABC in Manila." The clip continued spreading rapidly across social media. Filipino fans weren't simply defending a tennis player. They felt they were defending their own dignity. And here's the reality. Tennis is not the biggest sport in the Philippines. It doesn't have the same deep cultural connection there that basketball and boxing do. So, when a homegrown athlete breaks through to the highest level of global tennis, it carries enormous meaning. It represents opportunity, recognition, and hope. It gives young kids watching at home a reason to believe, thinking, "Maybe I can achieve that too." And then a voice from a major American network comes along and says, "The hype only exists because she's Filipino." That statement hit differently. It touched a much deeper nerve. By the following morning, ABC was facing a serious public relations crisis. Executives moved quickly, and a clearly rushed statement was released. "The comment made off-air does not reflect the values of our organization. The anchor has been suspended pending an investigation." Suspended. Just like that. That's what happens when public backlash moves faster than an organization can contain the damage. Sponsors were reportedly making concerned calls while viewers flooded social media with thousands of angry posts, tagging ABC. Media critics also began questioning the fairness and potential bias in sports coverage. But here's the most important part of the entire story. While the internet was exploding, Alex remained completely silent. There was no angry post, no dramatic Instagram story, and no public statement from her team. Her latest update was simply a training photo showing her focused, composed, and completely locked in. That silence spoke louder than any reaction could have. While people argued online, she kept practicing. While the clip continued going viral, She remained focused on improving her footwork. Fans noticed, and that quiet response became a source of strength. The louder the criticism became, the more unshakable her focus appeared. Now, let's look at the brutal irony behind this entire situation. The anchor claimed that all the attention existed simply because of Alex's nationality. But if that were true, then how do you explain the victories? How do you explain the numbers, the rise in the rankings, and the long, demanding rallies? Nationality doesn't win match points. Skill does, determination does, and discipline does. In trying to diminish her achievements, the comment actually pushed Alex into an even bigger spotlight. Suddenly, millions of people who had never heard of Eala knew exactly who she was. Her highlight videos began collecting millions of views, while older interviews suddenly resurfaced across social media. In one of those earlier clips, she quietly said, "I play because I love the game." That simple line went viral all over again. TikTok creators began using the quote alongside slow-motion footage of Alex hitting powerful forehands. Fans shared the message like a rallying cry. Instead of damaging Alex's reputation, the insult seemed to make her image even stronger. Meanwhile, the ABC situation continued to worsen as online investigators began digging through the past. They uncovered old clips, subtle remarks, skeptical reactions, and moments that suddenly appeared questionable. Whenever underdogs won, people noticed small reactions that now seemed suspicious. Soon, fans were no longer just reacting. They were starting to ask some very serious questions. Was this simply a one-time mistake, or did it reveal a deeper pattern of bias? Inside the newsroom, the atmosphere was reportedly tense. Producers were instructed to avoid social media, while PR teams worked around the clock to contain the fallout. Legal teams were also reviewing contracts because once advertisers start getting nervous, the entire situation can change very quickly. And here is the hard truth about the modern world. You no longer control the narrative. The internet does. And this time, the internet chose who it wanted to stand behind. Across the Philippines, support for Alex quickly grew into something much bigger. Filipino students living abroad shared tributes, communities around the world reposted her videos, and social media timelines filled with messages of support and solidarity. This was no longer just about tennis. It had become a question of respect. Let's be honest, criticism is a normal part of professional sports. Athletes are evaluated every day on serve percentage, return speed, movement, consistency, and countless other details. That is part of the job. But dismissing someone's rise as nothing more than nationality-driven hype is different. There is a clear line between fair criticism and simply belittling an athlete. Fans understood that distinction, and they reacted with anger. Some people tried to defend the anchor, saying the comment was taken out of context or was simply a private joke. But that argument quickly fell apart because even if it was meant to be private, it still revealed an underlying attitude. And that was exactly what people were rejecting. By the third day, the controversy wasn't fading. It was gaining even more momentum as other networks began covering the story. Sports talk shows started discussing the incident, while late-night hosts joked about the dangers of hot mic moments. ABC's corporate apology appeared weak and empty compared with the strong emotions spreading online. People were demanding real accountability, not carefully polished PR statements. Meanwhile, Alex continued putting in the work. Videos from her latest training session appeared online, showing intense drills, relentless effort, and the sharp sound of her racket striking the ball. The message was clear: you talk, I play. That calm confidence connected with people around the world. Sometimes the strongest response isn't loud or dramatic. It's simply staying consistent and letting your work speak for you. Now, take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Athletes from smaller nations often face this particular kind of doubt. They are frequently labeled as lucky breakthroughs or dismissed as surprises. They're treated like temporary visitors who don't really belong at the top. But when they keep winning, that narrative has to change. Eala isn't simply a feel-good headline. She is a serious competitor on the court. And athletes who reach this level don't need empty hype. They earn respect. The suspension proved one thing. Major networks understand the consequences when public anger reaches a breaking point. Reputation is valuable. Sponsors hold serious influence, and viewers have the power to decide whether a network keeps their trust. But here is the bigger question. Will this incident lead to genuine change in the way athletes are discussed?